Today on Dead with Dave, we're going to start off by painting the facehugger prop from the movie Alien. I'm going to show you my top 5 tools that make my life easier as a home haunter. We're going to talk about the future of Dead with Dave. And then we're going to finish up with some leftover awards fun. So sit back, relax, because this all starts now. Hello and welcome to the Dead with Dave show, a show that talks about all things Halloween and haunt related. Today on the show, we are going to start with how to make shit. Back to work on the Alien Facehugger. Today, we're going to finish it up. If you didn't see how I got to this step, please go back to part 1 in episode 45. I will leave a link down below just in case you missed it. Okay, first I needed to bend the tail to fit in the tank that'll be displayed in. I'm using my heat gun set on the lowest setting and trying to heat it up as evenly as possible. You can see it turns almost into rubber when it's heated up, so you can form it into any shape that you want. I just went with a curl tail here. Simple, yet works for what I needed to. Once the plastic cools down, the form locks into place, keeping the shape you bent it in. Now what I forgot to record was me spray painting the entire facehugger, and I used a Rust-Oleum Satin Ivory Silk spray paint. It's pretty basic paint, but it's good for plastic, which is what we definitely need it for. Next, I grabbed a tube of acrylic paint. This is Burnt Umber from Artist Loft, and I think I got it from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I squeezed some out on the side, just so I have some room to spread it out and really load up my paintbrush. I used a wide tip brush from my selection of paintbrushes, and really load on the paint. I started going over the entire facehugger, focusing on getting into the little nooks and crannies. It doesn't matter if the finish is smooth or even, we're going to be wiping most of this paint off anyway, so don't spend too much time on it. Just do a small section at a time, then grab a paper towel and wipe off the excess paint. Don't go nuts, you want to leave some paint behind, but don't worry either. You'll see as you go where to wipe off more or less paint. But doing this technique really highlights all the cracks, crevices, and little details throughout the facehugger, making them pop and stand out. I go over the entire thing, painting a little section, then wiping it off, painting a little, then wiping it off. To help speed up the drawing process, I do have a fan blowing on me from the side. I wanted to get this done in an hour or so, and I really didn't feel like waiting a long time for the paint to dry, so the fan does really help. Now let that sit for about 10 minutes, then move on to the next step. I grab a bottle of acrylic blue and acrylic red paint. Again, this is just your typical acrylic paints. I got it from Hobby Lobby or even maybe Michael's. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's a good quality paint, it should work for this project. Now I mix equal parts of the red and blue together. It's going to give me a much deeper red color, but kind of on the pinkish side, which is exactly the color I want. I'm using this color for the mouth of the facehugger, or what we all know looks like the vagina of the facehugger. Just remember, as you watch this, I didn't sculpt this. This is how it is in the movies. For this section, I'm going to go with a little different technique here. I load on the paint and cover the area as evenly as possible, making sure to only paint on the inside of the mouth area and not get any paint on the outside edges. After it's fully coated, I remove the excess paint from the brush onto the cardboard on the side, just as if you were going to do a dry brush technique. I then go over the entire area again, removing the excess paint from the prop. Going back and forth, drying the brush off after every couple of strokes, then going back in and rebrushing the facehugger. This technique really brings out the different layers of paint that we have been applying, and as you can see, makes for a very lifelike vagina. Oops, I mean facehugger mouth. After that's all done, I clean out my brushes and move on to the next layer. I take the burnt umber and add some unbleached titanium, again in equal parts, and mix together well. I'm going to go over the entire facehugger once again, but not as heavy as before. Kind of dry brush, but still adding a good amount of paint. I'm also trying not to get too much into the deeper cracks and crevices. I want those to stay darker. As before, I do a small section at a time, then wipe off the excess paint. This will lighten up the prop a good amount, which will help make the prop stand out from inside the display tank. You may wish to make it darker or lighter depending on your style or how you're displaying it. Just know that this is the layer that controls the overall darkness of this prop. So if you want it darker, add more burnt umber, or lighter, add more unbleached titanium. Okay, the last and final step is to make it look all wet and slippery. I'm using Perma Wet here from Monster Makers, and I absolutely love this stuff. There is no wrong way to apply it, just get it on the prop and spread it out. Now, I hope we can all be grown-ups here. This is just Perma Wet being applied to a movie prop that looks like nothing else. We don't have to think like 12-year-olds all the time. Ah, screw it, this is just too funny. Okay, moving on. So Perma Wet goes on milky white and dries perfectly clear. You can load on as much as you want, the more the merrier, but this shit is not cheap, so I wouldn't be too wasteful. Try to keep it on the prop and not all over the bench like I'm kind of doing here. But yeah, just brush it on and let it dry. I really didn't need to do this step because it is going into a tank of water anyway, but for you guys, I wanted to show you how I would finish it otherwise. And in the movie Alien, these things are always wet and slimy looking. So that's it. Here is the finished facehugger from the movie Alien. I hope you like it. As you can see, it was pretty easy to do and came out great in the end. I was working on some projects the other day, and when I work on things, my mind sometimes kind of just wanders and drifts off into pointless thoughts. That's how I basically come up with ideas for this show. They're just random thoughts from here and there. But I got to thinking about what tools I use that make building my haunt just a little bit easier. You know, tools that I don't necessarily need, but they really do come in handy when I have them. Now, I'm not talking about drills or saws or tape measures or anything like that. Those are, your common tools. And you don't need me to tell you how much a cordless drill is useful. But I thought it'd be fun to make a whole segment about the less thought about tools. So here it is, my top 5 tools that make my life easier as a home haunter. Number 1, a heat gun. Okay, I know this is actually a pretty common tool. I get that. But I had to include it on this list because of the vast array of different uses it's good for. I bought my heat gun a very long time ago to age some foam tombstones I was making. And at that time, I was very hesitant to buy one. I didn't think I really used it all that much. But after I started using it, I found a whole bunch of cool uses for it. Like bending PVC, distressing paint, or corpsing skeletons. I learned real quick that a heat gun can make my life a lot easier when building props. Shit, I just used it to finish up the facehugger prop, and then the very next day, I used it to help set the glue in a skeleton I've been repairing. It's just an awesome tool to have. There are a bunch of different models out there, ranging in price from $15 to $100. I do suggest buying a better quality one, though, because the cheaper ones tend to just stop working. And they're known for giving no warning at all when they go to. They pretty much just go. And you know when it's going to happen. Right in the middle of a very important project. Number 2, A tool belt. Now, I don't know about you, but without my tool belt on, I can easily spend at least half the time that I'm working on a project just looking for my goddamn pencil or trying to keep track of my freaking tape measure. I put that shit down in the weirdest places. But when I wear my tool belt, everything I need is right on me. My father gave me this tool belt when I first bought my house. I don't know how old it is, but it's one of those things you buy it once, and as long as you take care of it, it'll last you a lifetime, or in the case of this one, a couple of lifetimes. Tool belts are inexpensive, 25 to 50 bucks for a good one, but if you're like me and are constantly looking for things you just had in your hand, then the money and time savings alone is paid back on the very first project you wear it on. Plus, when I put my tool belt on, it's like a switch. My tool belt means it's time to get to work. Number 3, random paintbrushes. Oh, hell yes. I think I use these paintbrushes more than anything else in my shop. From painting new projects to touching up old ones that got a little knocked around during the year. Having a set of small paintbrushes is a must in my dungeon. They're cheap, so you don't have to worry about ruining them, but really come in handy when you're doing detail work or getting into those tight spots. You can get a pack of 15 brushes from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or even Walmart for that matter, for like 10 to 20 bucks. There really is nothing special about the ones I have. I do try to always buy the ones that say, good for all paints or multi-purpose. That way I don't have to worry about what brushes are good for what paints. I already know they're universal and work with them all. But yes, my life gets way easier when I have a bunch of little brushes on hand. Number 4. Hot wire foam cutting tools. An absolute must in my dungeon. Now, you can cut out foam with saws, razor blades, even butter knives if you really want to, but to make life just a little bit easier, hot wire tools are the way to go. This kit here is from Hot Wire Foam Factory and consists of a couple of different tools. It has 2 different length cutting blades for cutting tombstones out, cutting deep grooves or pockets, or even burning in some wood grain. This kit also has a small bow cutter for making easy edge cuts in any direction. Even has a wire router, which is perfect for grout lines, decorative edges, or texturing. And the last tool in the kit is the scribe tool, which I use mainly for what the name entails, to scribe out lettering. You can basically use it like a pencil. Each one has a whole bunch of different uses, and I pull them out whenever I have foam to carve. If you're a haunter, then you know foam is a huge part of any haunt, and cutting that foam out fast and easy really helps out big time. Kits at Hot Wire Foam Factory start in the low 100s and go up into, multiple hundreds. The sky's the limit there. You can buy anything you want, but if you're low on cash, just buy the basic kit and then add tools as you need them along the way. Number 5, bench dog cookies. This is a new one in my helpful tool list, but have quickly become a favorite of mine. If you have ever needed to lift your project, a little bit off your workbench, maybe to make a cut or paint all the way down to the bottom, or maybe just needed to keep your project from sliding around while sanding or routering, then these cookie discs are going to be perfect for you. They have this gripper material on both sides to keep your workpiece from moving around, and they're perfect height for making those rip cuts along a sheet of foam or wood without cutting into your tabletop. And what's great about these is they're so freaking cheap. 10 bucks for a set of 4 on Amazon. How do you beat that? I'm going to get a couple extra sets for when I'm doing multiple projects, or I have a really big project that needs a little extra support. These would have been really good when I was crapifying the display tank. It would have brought the tank up off the table. I could have got the better edge on the bottom when painting it. It would have kept it in place when I was spreading all that foam around it. It really would have helped out. I love these things now. I'm using them all the time. I used to use these little triangle blocks. That worked really good when for getting things off the table, especially for painting and stuff you just put on top. But they can't support the weight of the bigger, heavier projects, and they don't have any grip at all. They slide around. You're only sitting on this little point, so it didn't help for grip. But you would be surprised in the grip strength of the bench dog cookies. I routed a corner bead on a piece of solid oak, and the wood didn't even slide around a little bit. Great little tool to have, trust me. Okay, that's it. That's my top 5 tools that make my life a little bit easier as a home haunter. This was a tough list to narrow down, so here are a couple more honorable mentions. A random orbital sander. Yes, another common tool, I know, but one that is used all the time down here in the dungeon. A set of soul horses. These are pretty much self-explanatory, but they do make my life a lot easier when working on my haunt. and a good set of work lights from working into the late night hours and it's pitch dark outside. And all you haunters know exactly what I'm talking about. Now that's my list. I'm sure you guys have a list of your own. So in the comments down below, why don't you tell me your top 5 tools that make your life just a little bit easier. The more off the wall, the better too. Anything that makes your life easier surely will make my life easier. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I really want some new tools, and I think you guys are going to tell me what I need to buy. I want to take a couple minutes and talk to you about the future of Dead with Dave. As I'm sure most of you have noticed, Dead with Dave has been getting a little more sporadic as time goes on, as in fewer and fewer shows, and kind of post it whenever I feel like posting them. And I feel it's important for me to be honest with all of you. Without honesty, without trust, we have nothing. You know, here on Dead with Dave, there is no fluff, there's no bullshit. I always tell it as it is, and I try my best to give you guys a show that is interesting and for the most part fun. I mean, shit, to watch a show like Dead with Dave means you're dedicating your time to me. And I know time is always at a premium. So for you to give me any amount of your own personal time, especially to watch me talk about Halloween shit, is an honor. And I will never take that for granted. But lately, I've been falling short with producing shows and providing content on my website, especially content for my faithful members. I know I have been failing you all. Now, I can sit here and bullshit you with fake stories and reasons why I'm off my game. But what good would that do any of us? Plus, that wouldn't be fair to any of you. The truth of the matter is, and why I suck lately at producing content, is I lost my Halloween bug. You know that little bug that bit you when you first started your Halloween display or your very first Halloween project? The bug that gives you the drive to build more and more Halloween props and gives you that extra oomph to make your haunt the best it can be. Well, my bug was gone. The thing is, the bug that bit me 20 plus years ago didn't just bite me and run. It crawled up my ass and built a haunt inside me and kept my Halloween dreams going strong. Halloween was such a huge part of my life. I don't think there was ever a day that I went without thinking about Halloween in some shape or form. Halloween and haunting is my true passion. Well, it was my true passion until last year. And I don't know what happened. I just couldn't care if I did Halloween or not. I mean, holy shit. Does that sound right? Not care about Halloween? Not care about my haunt? Seriously. I didn't want to build anything. I knew I should be building something. I knew I had to set up my haunt, at least for my neighborhood's sake. But the drive to do it was gone. The haunt became a chore. This show became a headache. And I don't know what it was. Maybe I burnt myself out. Maybe it's because I had to put Halloween on hold last year because of my wedding. Maybe the stress of coming up with new show topics was draining me of any Halloween spirit I had. Or maybe it was a combination of all that plus a whole bunch of other shit. I don't know. All I know is that little awesome project driving Halloween fanatical bug that was once inside me must have just crawled out of my ass and left me here in my dungeon with absolutely nothing to do and no drive to start anything new. I even thought about ending the show, shutting down my website, ending the DwD Home Haunters Awards. And, you know, the saddest thought of them all, I thought about storing my haunt for a couple years and see what happens. That's how bad it got. Just walking away from Halloween altogether. Man. Now, I've talked to a couple of people about this. My wife, the Dead with Dave crew, and they've been trying to get me going again, trying to get my spark back in there, but I never really told anybody the full extent of how bad it has gotten in my own head. Well, until now. I'm telling all of you. But I'm not telling you this to make excuses or for you to be sad for me or pity me. I'm telling you all this for a reason. Because as of today, as of right now, I am 100% back in the Halloween mood. The Halloween bug has re-entered my ass and is fully settled in. All right, maybe I need to Stop the bug references. But for the first time in a long time, I am revved up for this Halloween season, and I am fully ready to go. I'm ready physically, I'm ready mentally, and I'm ready financially. I am ready to get my motherfucking haunt on. I'm telling you right now, it's all going to get better too. Dead with Dave will be better than ever. The Home Haunters Awards will be bigger than ever, and I will focus on new content from my website more than ever before. But what's got me even more excited, more driven than I have been in years, is my home haunt. Pandemic Cemetery will be the biggest it has ever been. Oh, hell yeah. Maybe I just need a reset. Maybe I just need a slap to the face. I have no freaking clue, but my head is back in the game, and I couldn't be happier about it. So that being said, there is going to be some changes here on the show that I want to go over with you real quick so that I can keep some kind of a schedule and try to keep my sanity all at the same time. Here is what I can promise you for the future of Dead with Dave, the future of PandemicHomeProduction.com, and the future of the Dead with Dave Home Haunters Awards. I promise to give you 6 full episodes of Dead with Dave a year, with better quality content, better segments, and an overall better show. The shows are going to come out randomly, meaning whenever I get them done, I will put them out. But I do promise there will be at least 6 a year. And don't worry, I'm going to put them out as evenly spaced as I can. I'm not going to, drop 2 episodes and wait 8 months and then drop 4 episodes. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, don't think I'm going to be, doing every other month on the 1st either. That's not going to work for me. I also promise to give 6 Dead with Dave minis a year. Dead with Dave minis will bring the more quick and to the point topics. Again, I'm going to put them out randomly. Whenever a cool project or topic comes along, I'll throw a mini together. I also promise to do the Dead with Dave Home Haunters Awards the best way that I can. The one thing that didn't put me off from Halloween is the Home Haunters Awards. I absolutely love doing my award show, and I don't think that will ever change. At least I hope it never changes my attitude towards Halloween. I absolutely love the award show. So the award show will stay the same as it's always been, except for me trying to improve it. It will always be the same. I promise that. And last but not least, I also promise to update my website regularly and to add more content to the members only section. This way, my faithful pandemic members will continue to get a little extra something for their contributions to the show, and for my non-members to keep tabs on what's going on over here through my website. And that's it. I hope that this new layout works for you guys. I think only time will tell if it's going to work or not. And hopefully I can prove to you that I can do a better job than what I've been giving you these past couple of months. I know it's a lot less show than what I started with. I was originally doing 2 shows a month, but I just can't do that anymore. I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I just can't. I don't have the time. But trust me, the show's going to get better. I'm going to work a lot harder, and I'm going to try my best not to fail you guys again, because that's the whole point, is you guys. I'm doing this for you, and I don't want to let you guys down. You know that. And with that, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please click the little subscribe button down below. Also, go over to PandemicHomeProduction.com for more Halloween and haunt-related goodness. I hope you all have a great Halloween build season. I'm really looking forward to getting to it. I will see you all next time. Good night. Right before we recorded the Dead with Dave Home Haunters Awards, we had asked the Dead with Dave Facebook group for funny sayings the judges could say on camera. The following video is the result of what you wanted them to say.
Why the hell is this called the Dead with Dave Show? I can talk in a monotone voice and all things Halloween. It should be called the Dead with Rich Show.
My name is Sharon. I build a home haunt. I don't wear underwear because I love to feel the breeze between my legs. Fuck you!
Damn it, Jose. You said if I got in the coffin with you, you'd only stick the head of it in. Damn it.
I think the dog's humping my leg. Oh wait, that's Sharon.
I like to shake my fanny in the mud because it feels so good.
No, Dave, I don't care how many times you ask. We are not body painting each other after the show.
Truthfully, I see myself more as a Martha Stewart type than a Brad Goodspeed.
Stop calling me a home haunter, B. I'm a dark entertainer.
For the last fucking time, I'm not 12 years old.